Hello guys, welcome to my channel Chem Insider. So in today's class we are going to discuss about quantum numbers and atomic orbitals. So orbitals and quantum numbers are generally related to one another. In the previous video we have discussed about the quantum mechanical model where we discussed certain 4 or 5 points which explain the complete orbital structures of an atom which we call the wave function of atomic orbital, where we find the probability of finding an electron will be related to the atomic orbital. So now, using this quantum number, what can we do is, if you are about to find out the position of an electron or the probability of an electron to be found in a particular direction, so it has to give a definite shape or it has to have a definite orientation. Like for example, if I say an atom has certain electron at the particular position, it has to be related with the coordinate systems like x, y, z. So if I say, if I give you a coordinate point on the xy plane, let us say 2, 3. So then you will go on looking for the point at which the electron will present at 2, 3 position. So therefore, similarly we might have to need some numbers in order to determine the presence of electron in a given atom. That's where we come into play with the quantum number. So what is this quantum number? What is this use of the quantum number? So using quantum numbers, one can relate the energy, shape of the orbital and size of the orbital and orientation of electrons present in it in the three-dimensional space. So therefore, there are 3 quantum numbers. Initially, the quantum mechanical model proposed by Heisenberg and Schrödinger had 3 quantum numbers. So those quantum numbers are, first one, principal quantum number, principal quantum number, principal quantum number. Second one is azimuthal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number. Third one is magnetic quantum number. Magnetic quantum number. So we had these 3 quantum numbers in our normal quantum model, where principal quantum number is denoted by the symbol n and azimuthal quantum number was denoted by the symbol L. Magnetic quantum number is denoted by the symbol small l. So now first we'll discuss each of the other, one after the other. So first one we'll come across is the principal quantum number. So what is this principal quantum number? A principal quantum number of an atomic orbital is useful in order to determine the size of the orbital structure. So if you consider an orbital, in order to know the orbital size, you might have to need the use of principal quantum number n. And in some extent, we also use this principal quantum number to determine the energy of the given orbital. So let us say we are considering an nucleus. So let us say this is the nucleus and we are observing electron at certain orbit. Okay, if you consider electron at a particular orbit, so then the energy level of that orbital, has to be determined by principal quantum number. So this principal quantum number is nothing but the shell value. So that is, for each and every value of n, will have a respective shell number. That is, if the value of n is 1, we consider the orbital as k shell. If you take n is equal to 1, then the shell value of that given orbital will be k shell. If you take n is equal to 2, then it belongs to L shell. So if the orbital has n is equal to 2, then the shell of orbital where it is to be found is L shell. So now what happens is, when you consider this principal quantum number, each and every atomic orbital in this principal quantum number will be s square. Let us say if I have n is equal to 1 value, the total number of atomic orbital in that shell, if you take the L shell, K shell where n is equal to 1, the total number of atomic orbitals present in that particular shell will be equal to n square. Okay, will be equal to n square. So the total number of orbitals or atomic orbitals present in a given value of n will be equal to its square value. Let us say if you consider for L shells, that is n is equal to 2, then it has orbitals equal to n square, that is nothing but 4 orbitals. So for a L shell, we will find 4 orbitals. For n is equal to 3, we have n square as 9. So therefore, for n is equal to 3 value, that is we come across as, if n is equal to 3, we come across M shell. So this M shell has 9 orbitals. So clearly if you observe over here, with the increasing number of n, with the increasing value of n, there is more and more number of atomic orbitals present. So if the n value increases, more will be the number of atomic orbitals. So what happens is, if you have understood the previous topic of explanation where we had discussed about energy being depending upon Z value, energy depends upon n values, right? Energy depends upon 1 by n square. So energy is inversely proportional to n. Okay, energy is inversely proportional to n. So if more and more is the value of n, what happens is energy will be decreased. That is because when you have to put an electron away from the positive charge nucleus, if you consider you have to take an electron away from the nucleus. If you have to take an electron away from the nucleus, you have to lose certain amount of energy. If you have to take electron away from the nucleus, what happens here is the electron is negative charged and the nucleus is positive charged, and those two experience an attraction. If you have to consider the electron which has to be taken away from the nucleus, you have to overcome the attraction of this positive nuclei from the electron. So therefore you have to lose energy. So clearly when you increase the value of n, that is you are placing the electron away from the nucleus, you will be losing certain amount of energy. So therefore we can get an idea of energy of an orbital using the principal quantum number. And further, this principal quantum number denotes the shell at which the given orbital is present. Okay, so the given orbital is related to with respect to the shell using the principal quantum number. So this is about the principal quantum number. This principal quantum number gives us three important points. One is it defines the size of the shell. So more and more the n value, more will be its radius, because radius of n is equal to n into a naught square, right? N square into a naught. So we have discussed that in the previous video. So clearly with increasing n, radius increases, nothing but the size increases. With increasing n, energy decreases. And in the third point, using principal quantum number, we can find out the shell in which the orbital is present. Okay, so this is about the principal quantum number. Next we'll come across is azimuthal quantum number. So what is this azimuthal quantum number? Azimuthal quantum number is also called as orbital angular momentum quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number is also called as orbital angular momentum. Orbital angular momentum quantum number. It is denoted by the symbol L. So this orbital angular quantum number explains the shape of the orbital. It explains the shape of the orbital. So now if you are considering the orbital, so remember, in order to know the quantum number of each of every element, you need to consider an orbital first. So orbital is related now with the principal quantum number, that is if you know the shell of the orbital present, that is nothing but the value of n. Now for the azimuthal quantum number, it explains the orbital's shape. Okay, azimuthal quantum number can be used to find out the shape of the given orbital. So orbital angular momentum quantum number, which is also called azimuthal quantum number, explains the shape of the orbital. So now we have to give the value of L. It is related with the principal quantum number. Azimuthal quantum number's value is related with the principal quantum number. That is, for every value of n, for every n value, L can have n number of values. L can have n number of values starting from 0 to n minus 1. Okay. For every n value, L can have L amount of values, that is from 0 to n minus 1. So let us understand this. If you consider for an example, let us say n is equal to 5. If you consider n is equal to 5, L can have values from 0 to n minus 1, right? So now n is equal to 5, substitute over there 0 to 4, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it has now 5 values. So for every n is equal to something, there will be having that something amount as the number of values. If n is equal to 5, then L can have 5 values. Those values are 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Similarly, if you take n is equal to 2, L can have 0, 1. Here 1 is nothing but n minus 1, right? So L can have 2 values for n is equal to 2. So one point you have to remember is L will always be less than n. L will always be less than n, and therefore L can never be equal or greater than n. L will never be equal or greater than n. L has to be always less than n. Therefore, L is always n minus 1 values. L can carry only n minus 1 values. So what is the use of azimuthal quantum number is, it explains the shape of the orbital, and using the shape of the orbital, so using the L values, we can determine the sub-levels of the shell values. We can determine the sub-shell values. So L just doesn't explain the shape of the orbital, or doesn't explain the shape of the orbital. So as we said, for every n value we have certain L number of values, set of L values. These values are called subshells. These values are related to subshells. If principal quantum number explains the shell of an orbital, azimuthal quantum number explains the subshell of the orbital. So for every subshell we have certain number of values. First I'll write down the principal quantum numbers. For n is equal to 1, we have k shell. N is equal to 2, we have M shell, L shell. N is equal to 3, we have M. N is equal to 4, we have N shell, and so on. Okay. For every L value, we have certain subshells denoted by the symbols, such as if L is equal to 0, then the subshell will be S subshell. Then the subshells will be S. If L is equal to 1, it belongs to P subshell. If L is equal to 2, it belongs to D subshell. If L is equal to 3, it belongs to F. If L is equal to 4, it belongs to G. If L is equal to 5, it belongs to H. So, for every K values of shells, we have certain number of subshells. If you consider n is equal to 1, then L can have values from 0 to n minus 1. So for n is equal to 1, n minus 1 will be 0. Therefore, for K shell, we have only one subshell, that is L is equal to 0 subshell, which is also called as S subshell. Okay. If you consider value n is equal to 2, it can have two values. Those are 0 and 1. So for L shell, we have two subshells. One is S subshell and the other one is P subshell. For n is equal to 3, we have three subshells. Those are 0, 1, 2, which are called S, P, D subshells. Next, for n is equal to 4, we have four subshells. Those are S, P, D and F. Okay. For each and every shell value, we have particular number of subshell values, which is given by the value of L. If L is equal to 0, then the corresponding subshell will be S. If L is equal to 1, the corresponding subshell will be P. If L is equal to 2, corresponding subshell will be D. If L is equal to 3, the corresponding subshell will be F, and so on. So this is about the azimuthal quantum number. So azimuthal quantum number helps us to know the shape of the orbital and the subshell of the orbital which is present. Next is magnetic quantum number. Next is magnetic quantum number. So this magnetic quantum number plays a role in determining the orientation of the orbital. So if you consider electron present in a particular direction, then the magnetic quantum number is useful to determine the orientation at which electron can be found. So magnetic quantum number ML helps in determining the orientation of orbital in 3D space. So it helps in determining the orientation of the orbital in 3D space. So what is the values of MLs then? So value of ML depends upon azimuthal quantum number. That is, for every L values, ML will be equal to 2L plus 1. For every L value, ML will have 2L plus 1 values. It can have 2L plus 1 values. The values will start from minus L to 0 and from there on to plus L. For every L value, ML can have 2L plus 1 number of values, and those values will be minus L to plus L. For example, let us consider L is equal to 3. If you consider L is equal to 3, ML will be equal to 2 into 3 plus 1. That is 2 3 is 6, 6 plus 1, so 7 values. It can have 7 values. Those 7 values are plus 3, plus 2, plus 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, for L is equal to 3, ML can have 7 values, and those values start from plus 3 to end at minus 3. That is plus 3, plus 2, plus 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3. Okay, so these are the 7 values obtained when L is equal to 3 of the ML values. If you consider, let us say L is equal to 5. If you take L is equal to 5, ML will be equal to 2 into 5 plus 1. That will be equal to 11. So values will be minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 5. So these are the 11 values of ML for when L is equal to 5. So if you observe over here, magnetic quantum number values can be determined by azimuthal quantum number. If you know azimuthal quantum number, it depends upon principal quantum number. So each of these quantum numbers are related to one another in order to find out the orbital of in order to find the particular properties of orbital according to quantum model of an atom. So this is about the quantum numbers of an atom. Later, when scientists came across these 3 quantum numbers, later later years, it was observed that scientists Uhlenbeck and Goudsmit said that there isn't just 3 quantum numbers. There is one more type of a quantum number which explains properties which were not explained clearly by the principal quantum number or azimuthal quantum number or magnetic quantum number. Those properties are, when they observed the fine line spectrum of multi-electron system, there was certain degenerate orbitals. Degenerate means they have same energy of multiple levels. So multiple levels have same energy, and those are called degenerate levels. When these two studied the line emission spectrum of multi-electron system, what happened was they came across certain lines or discrete lines which are found to be degenerate in energy, which those degenerate levels were not completely explained by these 3 quantum numbers. So therefore, they said that there might be one more quantum number which explains those discrepancy of degenerate levels, and that quantum number they said it as spin quantum number. They called the 4th quantum number as spin quantum number. So now in this actual generation we have 4 quantum numbers. Those are principal, azimuthal, magnetic, and the last one is spin quantum number, which is also called spin angular quantum number. spin angular quantum number. So what is the spin angular quantum number? If you consider a spin of an electron, consider spin of an electron while revolving around the nucleus starts spinning in its own orbit, similar to Earth's rotation while it is revolving around the sun. Right? If you consider Earth rotates in its orbit while it is revolving around the sun. So one rotation it gives a day, complete revolution gives us 364 and quarter days. So similarly, electrons when it is revolving around the nucleus gives us a certain rotation or spin. So that spin was called as spin angular quantum number of an electron. So in an orbit, if you consider an orbit which has principal, azimuthal and magnetic quantum number, there used to be two electrons which have two opposite spins which related the complete discrepancy of degenerate levels found in the line emission spectrum of multi-electron system. That is, if you consider two electrons, those two electrons with all these three orbitals, principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number and magnetic quantum number similar, was found to have two opposite spin values. One with up spin, which is denoted by the upward arrow, is called spin up. One arrow with upward mark is called the spin up. One with the downward arrow is called spin down. Whose values are plus 1/2 for up spin and minus 1/2 for down spin. So this is the spin angular quantum number. So that is, if you are to determine the orbitals, principal quantum number, azimuthal quantum number and magnetic quantum number, then each of the orbital will have two electrons. Whose spin angular quantum number will be different. So if one is of up spin with value plus 1/2 and other will be of value minus 1/2 with a down spin. Okay, so this was explained by Goudsmit and Uhlenbeck and stated those fourth quantum number as spin angular quantum number, which is helpful for determining the complete number of electrons present in a given orbital. Okay, so this is all about this principal quantum number, which was stated by Uhlenbeck and Goudsmit, was useful for determining the number of electrons present in a given orbital. So this is all about the number of quantum numbers used or found out using the quantum model of an atom. These four quantum numbers are used in this current generation in order to explain the structure of multi-electron systems. Okay, so these are the four orbitals. Using these four orbitals and certain rules, we will determine how to write down the electronic configuration of certain atom, and I will determine the shape of the orbital, energy of the orbital, etc. Okay, I hope you have understood these four quantum numbers. We'll just now write down for certain values of quantum numbers for certain different atoms using these quantum numbers. So let us say we start with the basic. If you have principal quantum number as n is equal to 0. So now if you have principal quantum number L, azimuthal quantum number ML and spin quantum number MS. Okay, so if you have n is equal to 0, for n is equal to 0 we know L can have 0 to n minus 1 value. So this is nothing but just, we don't have n is equal to 0, we start with n is equal to 1. So for n is equal to 1 we have L1 value, the value is 0, right? If L is equal to 0, ML can have 2L plus 1 value. So 2 into 0 plus 1 gives us only one value. That value will be 0. Okay, so remember, don't confuse this with the other things. If L is equal to 0, ML will have 2L plus 1 values. It will have 2L plus 1 values. If L is equal to 0, 2 into 0, that will be plus 1. So therefore ML will have one value. Okay, ML can have one value and that value is 0. That value is 0. Okay, if L is equal to 0, ML will be having one value and that value is 0. Spin of this orbital will be one up spin, one down spin. Okay, so instead of writing up spin and down spin, we can consider as plus 1/2 minus 1/2. Okay. If L is equal to 0, this belongs to S subshell. Okay, this belongs to S subshell. So the resultant orbital will be 1s. Orbital will be 1s. Okay. Next, for the second one, if you consider n is equal to 2, for n is equal to 2, L can have two values. Those are 0 and 1. If it belongs to 0, that means S orbital. If it belongs to 1, means it is P subshell, S subshell, P subshell. The values of ML for L is equal to 0 is they will have one value and that value will be 0. And for L is equal to 1, ML can have three values. Those are +1, 0 and -1. Spin will be again +1/2, -1/2. Here again +1/2, -1/2, +1/2 of 0, -1/2 of 0 ml, +1/2 of -1, -1/2 of -1. So this gives us 2s and these three is of 2p. Okay, so these three are of 2p. Next, if you consider n is equal to 3, L can have three values. Those are 0, 1 and 2, 0, 1 and 2. And for those 0 value, ML will be having one value, that value is 0. For 1, it will have three values, +1, 0, -1. And for 2, it have five values, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2. Okay, so each of them will have a similar +1/2, -1/2. This orbital will be 3s. These three will be of 3p orbital. These five will be of 3d orbital. Okay, so this is how we determine orbital of an atom in case of multi-electron system. So I hope you have understood all these concepts which I have explained. If you have any doubt, please do comment down below, and you can also mail those doubts to my email ID which I have provided in the description box. Okay, if you get confused in these topics, go through the video once again, and further if you have any doubts, you can comment down at the comment section. Okay, thank you for watching.